Coming in December of this year, the third and most likely final part of the Spidey trilogy, Spider-Man No Way Home, will finally hit theaters. The date mentioned so far is December 17th. However, as we all know too well, this can be subject to change at any time. So far, there are a lot of rumors about No Way Home. In this video, we have taken a closer look at which ones are confirmed or denied and what the plot might look like. So, stay tuned, here comes our preview of Spider-Man No Way Home. If you haven't seen the second part, Far From Home, yet, you should skip the coming part as it contains spoilers. You've been warned. What happened in Spider-Man Far From Home? Let's refresh your memory a little bit. Peter and his high school buddies are on a class trip when the world is suddenly threatened by elemental monsters. Yet it appears he doesn't have to fight them alone. With Quentin back, a hero who wants to take the burden of Spidey's shoulders and take on the task of saving the world seems to enter the scene. His superhero alias Mysterio. However, he turns out to be an imposter who faked everything with his dark technology barf in order to be hailed as a hero and make big money. This technology creates holograms with drones, which are so real that it is impossible to distinguish the real from the fake. There's a final battle between Spider-Man and Mysterio in London in which Mysterio is shot by his own drones. The world is once again saved. But things come thick and fast for Spidey in the mid-credit scene. The publisher of the Daily Bugle, J. Jonah Jameson, accuses the hero of being responsible for the attacks of the elementals and reveals his true identity, meaning that Peter is now on the run. Jonah Jameson is played by J.K. Simmons, by the way. Why is that important, you ask? Well, he already played the same role in the Spider-Man trilogy starring Tobey Maguire, but we will get to that later. The cast of Spider-Man No Way Home is probably one of the most hotly debated topics of the past year when it comes to the MCU and the movie. Before we take a closer look at the rumors, here are the actors that we absolutely know will play a role. Needless to say, Spider-Man will once again be played by Tom Holland, who has long been the most popular Spider-Man in a live-action film, and one can hardly imagine a movie without him. Alas, his contract expires after this film, but nevertheless, we will likely see him again in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Naturally, fans hope that his contract will be extended one more time, and many assume that it will. Whether this is the case is something that only Disney and Sony know, though. Standing by his side will again be the beautiful MJ and his nerdy friend Ned Leeds. They will also continue to be portrayed by Zendaya Marie Sturmer-Coleman and Jacob Batalon, as is well known. Of course, Aunt May can't be missing from this trio. We look forward to seeing Marissa Tomei in this role again. Also back from high school are Ned's sweetheart Betty Brant and Flash Thompson, who mostly uses high school to trample on Peter. Especially when it comes to the multiverse, which will almost certainly play a big part, Flash should play an interesting role, but we will talk more about that later. As you might expect, these casts also remain the same, with Betty continuing to be played by Angourie Rice and Thompson by Tony Revolori. If you look at the cast overview, you can't avoid reading the name Benedict Cumberbatch. Therefore, we can look forward to seeing what kind of significance the role of Doctor Strange will have in Spidey's third film. It is just logical that he will be featured since Tom Holland is also supposed to make an appearance in the Multiverse of Madness. And when it comes to multiverses, then who should be appearing if not the Strange? In addition, Daredevil actor Charlie Cox has been spotted on this set. For a long time, rumors have been circulating that the Devil of Hell's Kitchen would find a place in the MCU. The fact that the character may not be recast, but that the already existing character from the Netflix series will be integrated into the Spider-Verse would certainly be a great surprise for all fans. Unfortunately, this has not yet been officially confirmed, but the odds are good. Particularly because the 2-year non-use agreement for the character which was imposed by Netflix has come to an end. It is conceivable that as a lawyer, Matt Murdock will first take on the case of the disgraced Peter Parker. One thing has already been confirmed and is fueling the rumors about the multiverse. Alfred Molina will again slip into the role of Otto Octavius, aka Dr. Octopus, and this 17 years after Spider-Man 2. In addition, Jamie Foxx will again embody Max Dillon, aka Electro. The latter was the villain in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 Rise of Electro, in which Andrew Garfield played the role of the friendly spider. The return of these two villains opens the door to the multiverse wide open and naturally creates room for heaps of speculation. So fans hope to see not only these two guys, but that the Sinister Six will finally find their way into a Spider-Man movie. For this to happen, however, Mysterio would have to have survived or possibly come from another Earth. Doug Ock and Electro will definitely not be the same as in the other movies, that much has already been confirmed to us. Perhaps not a villain, but in any case certainly a most hated character is of course also Chief Editor J. Jonah Jameson. After making his first appearance in this Spidey trilogy in the mid-credits scene, he's now set to have a larger role in No Way Home. Understandably so, considering we can surely already imagine how he will drag Peter's name through the mud. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, he will be played by J.K. Simmons as in the Maguire Spidey trilogy. The return of the two villains from previous movies naturally sparked the rumors surrounding Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. The movies featuring the former Spider-Man actors didn't actually play in the MCU. However, with the rise of the multiverse, a comeback doesn't seem out of the question so far. Up to now, all inquiries about it have been denied by Marvel and by the actors, but as we know, they have been told to shut up by the film studios anyway. The animated film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in 2018 has already demonstrated that having more Spideys in one film is not a bad idea, and after all, it was also honored with an Oscar. So we believe we speak for all fans when we say this would be a dream come true. And by the way, it doesn't seem to be ruled out yet that Miles Morales will make his appearance in a live-action movie as the fourth Spider-Man. After all, he's the main character from Into the Spider-Verse, and as we know from a deleted scene from Homecoming, he already exists in the MCU. Everyone agrees on one rumor though. In case Maguire and Garfield should come back, we also hope for Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson and Emma Stone to play Gwen Stacy again. Beforehand, it's always difficult to talk about the plot. Without question, fanfiction or personal imagination will also play a role in the following part. What is clear is that the multiverse is about to collapse. Hence, Spidey suddenly has to face all sorts of villains and people from the other Spider-Man universes. The point in time was already spoiled by Alfred Molina in an interview. The role of Dr. Octopus is to be taken up again in Spider-Man No Way Home precisely at the point when he drowned in Spider-Man 2. Yet it's not just the bad guys who will make things difficult for Spidey. Now that his true identity has been revealed, he'll either be on the run most of the time or he will need to find himself a very good lawyer. Good thing we have Matt Murdock back. This is also where you could bring in the lawyer Jennifer Walters. Her alter ego is probably better known to you as She-Hulk. Regarding the villains, there is one scenario we can imagine best, namely that the Sinister Six enter the room. Electro and Doc Ock are already confirmed as 2 out of the 4 after all. Although the Vulture has been in prison since Homecoming, it shouldn't be too difficult to break out. Now Mysterio, the Sandman, and Kraven the Hunter would still be missing from the original 6. However, it is more likely that these will be replaced by Scorpion, Rhino, and the Hobgoblin. Scorpion, as we've already seen, is in prison with Vulture, and thus he's already in the MCU. Rhino also already made an appearance in, let's call it, the Garfield-verse. So the only one missing is Hobgoblin. Some of you may already know him from the comics, but Peter's friend Ned Leeds turns into him in a comic series. However, it would be conceivable that an evil equivalent of him comes from an alternate universe to complicate Spider-Man's life with the other 5 villains. However, as mentioned earlier, he may not have to fight them alone, as Maguire and Garfield have already collected their experience fighting against some of the Sinister Six. In addition, there are also Doctor Strange and Daredevil. For us, it's still a matter of patience, and we hope that we can really see the film on December 17th, and hopefully in theaters. As in the first 2 parts, John Watts will be directing the movie. The script has been taken care of by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. Besides the script of the first 2 films, both are working on Ant-Man and the Wasp. For the shooting, some high schools had to be temporarily closed once again. Filming also took place in New York's Greenwich Village neighborhood where Doctor Strange's sanctum is located. Since the contract between Sony and Marvel expired in 2019, it was initially not certain how things would continue. Sony was willing to extend the contract, but Marvel wanted an equal split of profits to share production costs. Luckily, the parties were able to come to an agreement in September 2019. As a result, Marvel Studios will get the merchandise rights and 25% of the revenue, but will have to bear a quarter of the production costs. So, that was our preview of Spider-Man No Way Home. Hopefully, we were able to give you a good insight and increase your excitement for December. What do you think? Is it realistic to see out of 3 Spideys in one single movie, or do you have a different theory regarding the villains? Let us know in the comment section, and if you liked the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. See you next time.